Welcome back to Daily Visa News. If you're on a skilled worker visa, thinking about applying for indefinite leave to remain, or just trying to keep up with the ever-changing immigration landscape, this update is one you absolutely need to hear. The UK immigration system has been running on a points-based framework, and to get a skilled worker visa, you have to score points for things like English language skills, a sponsored job offer, and very importantly, your salary. But this isn't something you only deal with once. You'll need to keep meeting these requirements all the way through to your application for indefinite leave to remain. And here's where things get serious. A recent statement of changes to immigration rules has shaken the migrant community. The government has raised the salary thresholds, and these new requirements are not to be taken lightly. Starting in September 2025, the general salary threshold for most skilled worker visa holders applying for indefinite leave to remain will be set significantly higher. But it isn't just about hitting one target figure. The rule is that you must be paid whichever is higher, the general salary threshold or the specific going rate for your occupation. Every eligible job under the skilled worker visa has its own occupation code, and each code comes with a standard going rate. These rates are published on the official government website, and they change over time. For example, if the going rate for your job is above the general threshold, then that's the number you'll need to meet. If it's lower, the general threshold takes priority. Either way, the Home Office will always go with the higher figure, and this detail is something many overlook. To make it even more complex, these going rates aren't fixed forever. They're updated regularly based on survey data, which means the bar could rise again by the time you're eligible to apply. Understandably, people working in different visa categories have been asking where they fit into this. If you're on a health and care worker visa, the rules are slightly different. For many NHS and social care roles, pay is tied to national pay scales, and the threshold is lower compared to the general skilled worker route. But there's a major policy shift coming. After September 2025, the government will close the route for new overseas care workers and senior care workers. Those already in the UK may benefit from transitional provisions, but the overall direction is clear: restrictions are tighter. Then there's the immigration salary list, which replaced the old shortage occupation list. If your job is on this list, you can qualify with a reduced salary threshold, but even this has been raised compared to previous levels. To complicate things further, the list itself is temporary. It's due to be phased out by the end of 2026 and replaced with a new framework. That adds another layer of uncertainty for migrants trying to plan long-term. And for those who came to the UK before April 2024, transitional arrangements apply. If your certificate of sponsorship was issued before that date and you've stayed continuously on a skilled worker visa since then, the thresholds you need to meet for indefinite leave to remain are different. They're still lower than for new arrivals, but even these have been increased. The key takeaway here is that your personal circumstances matter a lot. Two people in the same workplace might fall under completely different rules, depending on when they first arrived and what occupation code applies to them. Now, let's talk about proof. When you apply for indefinite leave to remain, you'll need to provide clear evidence of your salary. This means payslips, matching bank statements showing deposits, and a letter from your employer confirming your job title, occupation code, and salary. The Home Office is scrutinizing these documents closely, and sudden salary increases right before an application may raise red flags. This is part of the government's wider strategy to tighten immigration controls while encouraging more investment in the local workforce. There are also proposals being discussed that could extend the qualifying period for indefinite leave to remain from 5 to 10 years. While this hasn't been written into law yet, it signals the government's direction, ensuring that only those on higher incomes and contributing more financially will qualify for settlement. For many skilled workers in vital but lower-paid sectors, these changes could put their future in the UK at risk. That's why planning ahead is so important. If you're watching this and wondering what to do, here's the big picture. First, you need to know your target salary, check your occupation code, check when your first certificate of sponsorship was issued, and see what the current going rate is. Then compare it honestly with your current pay. If there's a gap, you need to think strategically about how to close it. This might mean negotiating with your employer well in advance, aiming for promotion, or even looking at opportunities with another sponsor who can meet the required level. And above all, stay informed. Salary thresholds have already jumped dramatically in just a few years, and they will almost certainly rise again. Don't rely on outdated information or what someone else in your network told you. Make a habit of checking the latest rules directly on gov.uk, and if your case is complex, get professional immigration advice. The reality is this: the UK government is raising the bar for settlement. For some, this will mean working harder and being more strategic. For others, it might mean facing tough choices about whether staying in the UK long-term is still possible. But the best defence is preparation. Stay informed, plan ahead, and make sure you're positioning yourself for success. Thanks for tuning in to Daily Visa News. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel for more updates on UK immigration, and share it with anyone you know who's on a skilled worker visa or planning their ILR application. And don't forget, let us know your experiences and questions in the comments below. We're building a community where migrants can support each other, and your story could help someone else.